rotation here with the velocity product. That's certainly good news. So I'm glad about that. So there's no rotation with the system over central Dorchester County or south or pretty much south central or southwest Dorchester County, even back over to the south of there, back over toward Cottageville. We're not seeing any rotation with these storms. The rotating storm is more up this way as we look at this rotation right here up toward Moncks Corner. And again, this is the area right here that we are warning on. You can see the rotation here. We call it a couplet, the inbound and outbound winds. I'll track that right now for you. Again, the easterly motion now at 25 miles per hour. So as we take this and we track it to the east at 25 miles per hour, we'll take it right on up to east at, a little further, right up to about 25 miles per hour right there. 24 to 25, again, heading toward Cordsville as you look at the time of arrivals. Again, these are estimates, but something that we can look at with the computer and give you a good idea that, hey, you should be in your safe place. If you're in Cordsville, if you're in the middle of Berkeley County, back out toward Newland, we're looking at 536 at Cordsville, back over to Newland at about, say, 557. And again, you can see that rotation right there. It's clear right here on the radar, and there's a pretty good rotation there. It's kind of holding together, and it's pretty... right there, you can see that rotation right there, and that's a rotating storm. And as I mentioned, the other storms that we're tracking out there are not rotating. If we can pop up Cam 15 once again, this is what it looks like over there at the Old Santee Canal Park, and this is up into Berkeley County. There it is, and you can see it definitely is raining out there pretty good. Let me see if I can't move that camera a little bit, get another better look at that. And you can see really from the left to the right. I'm going to zoom out here just a little bit. Yeah, we're not seeing any funnel clouds. Well, we're not seeing any funnel clouds here, but this is really the only camera in the area. There's a lot of forest out there. There's a lot of trees, beautiful part of the low country. But again, we're not seeing any rotation out there. But here's how it tracks, though, as you look at the velocity. Here's the center of the system right there, moving right through toward and to the east of kind of right along the banks of the Cooper River. This is the Cooper River right here as it pushes east at 25 miles an hour. Again, if you're up in Cordsville, 536 up toward Witherby, right there at about 540. Newland right there at about 557. So that will push eastward rather rapidly. And again, if you are in those areas, just kind of be weather wary and certainly be in your safe space. Let me go ahead and pull out here just a little bit. We'll zoom out once again to a little wider shot, just to get you also caught up with the other warnings that we have. We have this severe thunderstorm warning now in parts of, say, Dorchester and Cowden County. I'll put on the reflectivity again. We're not seeing any, thankfully, rotation with these storms back here. In fact, these storms here have some moderate to heavy rainfall. Once again, we are talking about strong gusty winds and quite a bit of lightning. We've seen quite a bit of lightning in the last couple of days. We've had a lot of power outages, still a lot of power outages from yesterday's event. And again, as you take a look right here with the First Alert Super Doppler, just on the other side of North Charleston, Somerville, that's where that one big cell is, very, very heavy. And then down south, as you take a look down just on the other side of Ravenel, down 165, again, there's moderate to heavy rain here. The good news with these is that these are not rotating. There's no tornadic cells with these. But this one, as we look a little further north, up here, this is the one in question. The box has just been reshaped a little bit as the Weather Service fine-tunes that tornado warning. Again, just kind of ending it from the west to the east as it pushes off in that direction. But let me go ahead and pull up the velocity product once again and see how that couplet is doing back over there as we track it. And it looks like it's a little bit less, it might be just not as tight right here, but again, as it approaches and pushes across the Cooper River there in central Berkeley County, this is Pinopolis, this is this is Moncks Corner. So you folks in Moncks Corner proper are just on the other side of this. Just as we get a little bit closer, I'll zoom in here just a bit, and you can kind of see as I zoom in with our zoom tool. The good news is with these kind of tools, we can take you like very close to where the center is. Again, there's the center of this thing. This is where the heaviest wind would be, right? As we look really at the edge, I'm not sure how many streets are out there or whatnot, but yeah, this is, as you look at Dr. Evans Road out that way, Old Wallace Boulevard right back here. This is North Millbury Drive, South Millbury Drive. This is where the very heavy of this rain is and the wind. This is where the heaviest wind would be, and certainly any center of a vortex or a funnel cloud as you look right there, right into this is going right down. And there's a lot of trees out there. There's a lot of rural areas out there in Berkeley County. That's why we're not seeing any. Of course, this is the Cooper River is right about here. But as I zoom out to kind of a much wider shot, you can get an idea kind of in reference to the rest of Berkeley County. It's not a big area of Berkeley County, but it is sitting right there just to the east of the lake, and again pushing right on in toward the Francis Marion Forest. If you're down toward Cordsville, down 401, all the way back, 402 rather, all the way back into the central Berkeley County. Let me go ahead and show you the radar again as we take a look at the other areas that we are watching. Again, there's the severe thunderstorm warning back there for parts of Berkeley County. That still remains effective, by the way, for this area of Berkeley County, and the other severe thunderstorm warnings that we're continuing to track. As far as those alert times, I can pull up the alerts and kind of show you. This one, of course, the tornado warning till 5:45, so we'll track that. And then we also have the severe thunderstorm warnings, this one till 6 o'clock back into, say, parts of Colleton County and Dorchester for those other areas that we're watching as far as the heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and the dangerous lightning. Again, setting up right here, the Tri-County, these areas. This is the cell with the rotation. These two cells, actually these three cells, are not rotating, which is good, for us. It'll also help stabilize the atmosphere a little bit. If you're out in Orangeburg, we're watching showers and thunderstorms as well out that way. So those should pretty much remain on the other side of I-95. It might move on up toward Lake Marion, but these are the cells right here that have the warning, certainly the tornado warning right there. Let me go back out live again as you take a look over to Berkeley County. This is our cam that's out there, and we were looking at some pretty heavy wind just a few minutes ago. I was kind of bending out the trees there, and you can see right there right now you can see that heavier rainfall. You see the pea-size hail reported in the Summers Corner area of Dorchester County just a couple of minutes ago. That was from one of our emergency managers. So that was just here just a little while ago as far as that goes. And as far as hail, certainly there is a chance of some pretty good hail today. The atmosphere in the upper parts of the elevated parts, as you go up higher, it was a little bit colder aloft, so we certainly could see some hail today. Back to the maps, and again, as we check it out, these are the areas we're watching. Pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4 cells of complexes, as we call them, of showers and thunderstorms. I'm going to zoom on into the one that we're tracking. The one with the rotation, of course, is right back in here, and you can see that is right in central Berkeley County as it pushes off to the east at about 25 miles per hour. So there it is right there. We'll kind of zoom in on this one right here. There's a lot of forest area out there too, but if you are in the path of this storm, over to Cordsville, this is 402. When you come off 41, you kind of splits there. You go north up toward Jamestown, but as you move down 402, that's where we're seeing the heaviest stuff. You folks up in Jamestown, up toward the Hellhole Swamp area, that you're going to see, it looks like just to the north of where this actual rotation is. So this is where all the lightning is. This is where all the heavy rain is. Again, down 402, as we look at the velocity, let's see how that couplet's doing. Let's see how that rotation's doing. And if it's staying together, sure is. You can see it right there. That's definitely staying together. Let me once again kind of show you with the draw tool. When we look at these, we look at the inbound winds in green, the outbound winds in red, and when you see the shear, the gate to gate right there, you can see that's where the couplet is. That's where the rotation is. So if there is a funnel cloud, that's where it is. Whether it's coming all the way to the ground, we don't have an indication of that. This red box indicates that. It's radar indicated. If the box were red and white, that would have been spotter indicated. So that's kind of what we're keeping an eye on. But if you are, again, over toward Cordsville, again, that's something to keep an eye on. And as I take a look at this track once again, it looks like it's just approaching the Cordsville area, pushing off to the east, like I said, at about, say, 20 miles per hour. And again, as we kind of kick out that storm track, you pretty much just a few minutes is going to be kind of pushing toward Cordsville. And again, this was not moving as fast as yesterday's events. Yesterday's storms, some of them were tracking around 47, 50 mile an hour forward motion, as it moves, kind of like driving your car, 45, 50 miles an hour. This one's moving about 25 miles an hour, so it's not as fast. And again, some of the rotation here is pretty well seen on the radar. And as it pushes off toward Cordsville at 542, you should be in your safe place there, bottom of the house, inside, away from windows, etc. And again, 547 over toward Limerick, and again, that's pushing on into 402. So there's once again, a lot of forest. As you come up 41 from Mount Pleasant, you get that split there at 402. If you go straight, you go on up toward, say, Jamestown and keep going on up to Andrews. But this is going to be just off of 402. Right here between almost the halfway point down 402 back over to Monk's Corner. And as I kind of put on the radar once again, there's a lot of lightning too with this. So you can clearly see the amount of lightning. And Monk's Corner proper, you're just on the northwestern edge of this. I don't expect this tornado or the funnel cloud or the rotation to go anywhere near downtown Monk's Corner. It's mostly to your southeast, really pushing off into the middle of Berkeley County. So the Monk's Corner proper area, you're probably seeing a lot of rain, seeing a lot of thunderstorms, but again, most of it's to the south and east of where you are, so just kind of keep an eye on that. Now, Somerville, Goose Creek, getting some showers, some thunderstorms though. Somerville, Jedburgh, up toward the Flying J, up there, all the way back up toward Ridgeville, back over toward Nexton and the Volvo plant. You can see this is the Volvo plant. It's right up here, right on the edge of that severe thunderstorm warning. But if you're up in Somerville, you're up over to Nexton, you're back on up into, say, Ridgeville, all the way right up there by the new Flying J truck stop there. You can see there's a lot of moderate to heavy rain there, as well as down 61 and 17A. As you kind of track down 17A, we're also looking at quite a bit of rainfall right along the Edisto River. Here's the Edisto River right here. So as you come out of Somerville, and here's 61 and 17A right there. Again, this is Givans just to the north. This will continue with heavy rainfall. Now, as far as rotation with this, right now we haven't seen any rotation. The radar just updating here, live radar. So let's go ahead and check out that velocity. And let's see what we have. It looks like there might be something trying to rotate in there. This is Cottageville right here. Again, there's nothing definite, but we'll watch that pretty carefully too, as we're starting to see a little bit of red and green come together here. So there might be just trying to see a little rotation down 17. But even if it's not a complete rotation, there's going to be gusty winds with these. You have straight line winds with severe thunderstorms. Those are winds that come out of the storm, they hit the ground, and they push forward, right? Sort of like pouring on water, a bucket of water hitting the ground, and the water spreads out. So does the wind, sometimes up to 100 miles per hour. So that's why back down toward 17A, all the way from Cottageville, just on the other side, back over here towards, say, 61 and 17A. So if you're back over Legend Oaks, so you're back up 61, back up this way, down 17, and Roundo, be on the watch for this. We'll just kind of keep an eye on this to see if we are seeing any more as far as rotation with the storm. That's something we'll have to keep an eye on. But when you look at the radar itself, there's a lot of rain and there's a lot of lightning. Again, with that cell right there. Here's Cottageville right there, Cottageville Elementary. We've been to many times there. As you make pretty much a push to the east here down 17A. This is 61. Again, between 61 and Somerville, still looking at quite a bit of heavy rain. It's just to the other side of North Charleston. We are seeing moderate to heavy rain over in Goose Creek. And this orange boundary right here is the severe thunderstorm warning, and that continues mostly for just to the north of Somerville, but even if you're not in that warning area, you are getting that heavy rain. Could even be seeing a little bit of hail. We heard that pea-size hail update here just a few minutes ago, so we are watching that as well. And then, of course, we have the rotation here, the rotating storm. Remember that red box right there is the tornado warning, and that includes 41 over to 402, back over to Cordsville, just to the southeast of Monk's Corner. And as we look at the velocity, once again, we let the radar update itself as it goes and does what we call a volume scan. It scans the atmosphere, almost takes a big slice out of it, and gives us a look at different altitudes to see where that rotation is. And looks like we're a little less on the rotation on the storm. There's still a good couplet right here, but it's not as tight. We may not be seeing as strong a rotation here as you look here down Cordsville way. And that, again, is right there almost in the center of Berkeley County, right? Right there in the middle and kind of heading toward the Francis Marion Forest. We had some video. Apparently one of the EMs, the emergency managers, had some video of a rotation not far from Monk's Corner heading toward the Cordsville area. That's the system that we just talked about. No confirmed touchdown, though, at this time. So there's no confirmed touchdown of the tornado itself, but you can clearly see where the box is, that red box. That's the warning area. That runs until about 5:45. We'll see if they continue that. They might actually issue a new one, which would take it further east because of where it is now. If you look at where it is now, and then we look where is it going, well, certainly Owendale, McClellanville, you need to be ready to be in your safe space if this thing stays together and continues to push east. And there's a lot of unstable air out here, a lot of warmness, the humidity, very light, buoyant air. Certainly you can be looking at this storm kind of staying together, and it will go through, cycles. It'll spin up a little bit. It might have some friction encounter with some of the trees out there in the Francis Marion Forest, and it may or may not stay together. But again, as you look at it right here, as it pushes east, it's a pretty good couplet there. And as I track it, and right now, we're holding, by the way, I just checked the speed. We're holding at 25 miles an hour with this storm. So here it is right here as it pushes off to the east. As you count it out, you can see those numbers: 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 miles per hour. So as we look at the times of arrival, well, Cordsville, certainly in the next few minutes, we've got Limerick at about 5:52, Laurel Hill Plantation at about 6:13. So again, and that is, Laurel Hill is way out here, right? That's in half hour or so. So this thing is just not moving that fast. It's not moving as fast as they were yesterday, but they are moving rather rapidly. So we're going to continue fast enough. But the speed that we had them yesterday at 47, 48, that was incredible. These are typical 20, 25 mile an hour moving cells. That's rapid enough, and that's moving rapidly, but it's not moving as fast as I mentioned. So we'll continue to kind of keep an eye on the speed on there. And there's a lot of forest out here, but there's also some people. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. I'm going to zoom out to get another look at what else is out there to see if there's any more rotation. Let me just back off that. Oh, not that one right there. Yeah, right there. That area right there is still a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's back into Berkeley County. And as you look back over to the Dorchester County, back into parts of Colleton County, a lot of heavy rain, and we are looking at, see if we're seeing any rotation down with some of these storms. We were looking at Cottageville a few minutes ago, and we'll zoom in here in just a second. We'll zoom into Cottageville, which is right back in this area, again under a severe thunderstorm warning. But right now, that's looking like it's pretty, it's broad if it's anything as far as rotation. There's also a little bit back to the west of Walterboro that we're kind of keeping an eye right here. So that is looking at some moderate to a little bit of rotation here. So we'll keep an eye on that as it pushes off to the east.
Bill, we would just want to give you a chance to check any latest information from the National Weather Service. While you do that, we'll just let folks know we are getting the reports of thunder, heavy rain in like the downtown area, Somerville out near the Air Force Base, as Bill mentioned. We're going to pull up camera back out the old Santee Canal. We can see the rain was really coming down heavy in that area. Not seeing a lot of movement there with the wind, with the tops of those trees just a little bit, but we know that that is where most of the weather is located right now centrally, and just wanted to give Bill a chance to check some of the latest information about these storms. Bill?
Yeah, indeed, and as we look at the current warning, you'll notice that red just popped off. So the severe thunderstorm warning continues over Berkeley, but the tornado watch continues for the Tri-County area. The tornado warning, though, is now discontinued. They just let that discontinue, and as I kind of show you what the radar looks like, all of this energy across South Carolina we're just talking about continues. We have more stuff upstream here, so we're watching that. This is stuff right along the frontal boundary, stuff down to the south. So we're going to keep an active pattern here into the nighttime hours. So expect showers, thunderstorms, some gusty winds, and quite a bit of lightning out there over the next few hours. And once again, as we zoom on in, that tornado warning we just talked about now is just a severe thunderstorm warning, which does show that rotation, as I mentioned, and we were kind of analyzing it with the velocity, it was not as tight. It was a little bit looser, a little more broad, so that that warning was allowed to expire. But we will watch these other cells, and as we look at the velocity on some of these, again, we're not seeing as much of the rotations as we have with that one cell up into Berkeley County, and certainly that other cell that was back over toward Cottageville. I'll zoom in here just a little bit just to get another quick look at this before I throw it back to the anchors here, now that the warning has expired. Yeah, notice it's not as tight, right? So we're not seeing as much outbound winds as we are seeing inbound winds. So there's definitely some gusty winds right here. So just be watching this. If you are over to 402 Cordsville, even back over to, say, the Owendaw area, and again down 402. We'll continue to watch that. But once again, that tornado warning has expired. We do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out there we're continuing to track, but be ready for some weather over the next few hours, even up to a midnight tonight. The future tracker still shows us with showers and thunderstorms moving east. Very unstable atmosphere, very typical of spring here in the Low Country. We'll continue with Live 5 News here at 5.